Welcome back to Barron's New Vegas Gun Guides. This time we are finally to the penultimate shotgun, the hunting shotgun. A 12-gauge pump-action shotgun that lives up to its name and is ready to hunt almost anything in the Mojave Wasteland. Based mostly on the Remington 870 Wingmaster, the hunting shotgun is surprisingly rare and valued in the Waste for what is at present one of the most common shotgun patterns available, not least to say for pump-action shotguns. At 10 million made back in April 2009, it's hard to argue that point. It's a very popular gun. The fourth in a series of designs, the Remington 870 came from the John Peterson Model 10, which at the time was known for its fragility, but it still saw use in World War I, which was later replaced by the improved version of the Model 10, the unimaginatively named Model 29. Now this was one spoke of the design. The other one came from John Browning, who made the Model 17, which became the Model 31. Now, these were two independent parallel ideas that came together, and all four of the designs came to form the 870. Now, those four shotguns were made and designed between 1908 and 1949, each with their own issues and problems that were all solved, as much as possible, into the Remington 870. In 1950, it was released, and was a hit, becoming the standard most pump actions followed. It had an internal hammer, a bottom loading, and a side ejecting tube magazine. By some sad twist of fate, however, the most popular shotgun fell into disuse in the wastelands in the US. Before New Vegas, there was only one shotgun that used this action, instead almost all shotguns being side-by-sides or semi-automatic/fully automatic combat shotguns. Funnily enough, the only other pump-action shotgun in these games is the Ithaca Model 37, which is in Fallout Tactics, and that gun was based on the Remington Model 17. Now, to say a possible reason why there is this lack of pump-action shotguns in Fallout games, it could be going back to, you look at New Vegas and those hunting shotguns are newly minted. In all the other games, the most preserved shotguns were the combat shotguns, being in police vaults or armories, as well as military ones. On the other side of that, we have the more simplistic ones which survived the Great War simply based on that simplicity. But the more complex pump action was destroyed with time. But that's really just an unsubstantiated theory. It could just be that the mechanisms for them didn't really exist in the game engine itself. Now, as a final note, a gun similar to this did appear in Fallout 76, but it was really such an insult to the original Fallout as it had a fake parody weapon manufacturer on it, which the original Fallout kind of stayed away from the parody side. It might have used references to them, but never to the degree of making fun of them. But it is basically a copy of the hunting shotgun, so we will ignore it. Now, regardless of why we haven't been graced with a pump-action shotgun in any more than 2 good games, we will get to this one's stats. Now, first is damage. At an astounding 70 damage per shot, which gets boosted to 84 with the 20% damage increase from the standard rounds. Combine that with the 7 pellets for standard buckshot, that's 10 damage base, or 12 damage with the 20% per projectile. So far, almost every shotgun we have looked at has had the damage per projectile between 7 and 8, so this is a huge jump. Now, this being one of the 3 shotguns that have a significant ammo capacity, in this case 5, just like the lever action, rate of fire is actually important, but in this case it's slow at 1.7 shots per second, which makes sense as the courier does pump the gun between every shot. This gives it a DPS of 116.7, or around 140 with standard buckshot. The reload has a small windup, but after the first shell it loads at a rate of 1 every half second. This gives it an interruptible reload, like the lever-action shotgun and other lever guns, and a nice continuous DPS of 65.6, or about 79 with a 20% increase, with the ability to fluctuate between the two as your reload needs dictate. For crits, it is the standard affair with the ×1 crit chance multiplier, and it applying to every pellet, but with a crit damage of 10, that means every pellet can do 22 damage, standard buckshot, on a crit, which means a maximum of 154 before reductions, which is some great damage. The best way to deliver crits in VATS is not too expensive. At 28 AP for a hard-hitting shot, it puts its efficiency at 2.5, or 3 damage per AP when we include the 20%, which is only just below the sawed-off, but it saves 10 AP from the reload by having an actual capacity. Now that being said, the hunting shotgun isn't just for VATs, having a very nice bead on its top rail as its iron sight, and the second lowest spread of any shotgun at 1.5, able to shoot out much further, especially with slugs. Unlike the single shotgun, which is the most accurate, the hunting shotgun has some modifications that make it even better than that trash gun, an extended tube and a choke. Like the lever-action shotgun, the hunting shotgun looks to be in excellent condition, as I said before, possibly newly minted by the gunrunners, and as such costs a pretty penny at 3,800 caps, with the long tube mod costing 1,750 for plus 3 to the capacity, and the choke at 1,500 caps for minus 0.6 to its spread, which brings it down to 0.9. Now, for those that don't know, a choke is a muzzle device for shotguns that tighten the diameter of the barrel right before the muzzle, compacting all the projectiles into a tighter spread, usually listed in a less restrictive to most restrictive in this order: improved, modified, and full choke. While chokes only affect shot shell in real life, they also affect slugs in game, but we can guess this choke is a modified choke given the boost to its spread. Now, one final note about the mods: due to the one at a time loading, the sustained DPS with the long tube is only marginally better, as you still have to load all 8 shells. Now in total, this is 6,950 caps invested into a gun. So how many shots do you get out of it? Unsurprising for its condition, the hunting shotgun can fire the most out of any shotgun, short of the sturdy caravan shotgun, at a nice 995 standard, or 865 Magnum rounds. As for ammo, it's one more cap expensive across the board than 20 gauge, with one exceptional exception. The standard ammo is 2 caps per round, with 7 projectiles and 1.2 times the damage. Next is the Magnum, with the same number of projectiles, with the 30% more damage, 1.3 times, minus 2 to the enemy DT, and the 15% more wear for 3 caps per round. Then there's the Bing Bag rounds, which are interesting, 3 caps per round, but they only do 5% damage, with the trade-off of doing 50 fatigue damage, even to robots, although the tooltip does lie about the 150 fatigue damage, although knocking out robots in 2 shots is pretty good on average. Slugs are single shots at the flat damage, so 1 times, but with 0.35 of the spread, which are great in the hunting shotgun at least, because you don't lose out on any of your benefits from your choke, but you do lose out on crit damage. And much like the other things, there are 3 caps instead of 2 for the buckshot. Now finally, there is coin shot, which is exactly like Magnum ammo, except for your gun is worn the same as standard shots, and it fires 8 projectiles, which have a chance to be recoverable later. Because it uses Legion Denarius, or coins, it has a chance of leaving recoverable ones in its targets. Valued at 40 caps and only craftable without mods, it's expensive but a good trade commodity. Good for the Legion lapdog running around the wasteland, or those that kill Legion lapdogs that are running around the wasteland. Now, like the sawed-off, there is a unique variant, the Dinner Bell, which is a more powerful hunting shotgun, starting at 75 damage base, or 90 damage with the 20% damage increase. It has a lower spread of 1.7, but is not as strong, only able to shoot 745 standard shells or 648 Magnum rounds. It probably has an improved choke instead of the moddable modified choke, and it comes with a sweet camo wrap. It is obtained at the end of the long quest line that sends you all across the Mojave, Bleed Me Dry, given by Red Lucy and the Thorn, which is located in the sewers south of the entrance of Westside. The quest involves collecting the eggs of various wild creatures in the wasteland, from giant manti to deathclaws, allowing you to trade in collected eggs or journey into the belly of the beasts to steal a clutch from their nest. From Vault 22 to Quarry Junction, an unprepared hunter will get shredded, and Red Lucy needs them so that she can grow more combatants for her arena, and she rewards her best hunters with a chance to be with her and her dinner bell. In my case, I find the gun to be useful in more places. Now, as to where you can find a normal hunting shotgun, it's available all around the waste, although usually in low condition. Those that favor spelunking can find it in a few caves, starting with the Bloodborne Cave, the Bootjack Cavern, the Charleston Cave, and Vault 34. Above ground, the followers, after you help them, will let you get one from their safe house, although in a horribly broken condition. The old nuclear test site shack also has one inside, and at the Horwitz farmstead there is one in the pickup next to the barn. Now for enemies, it's rare but possible for Vipers, Centurion Assassins, and NCR Heavy Troopers, along with the non-hostile Red Lucy, to all have them. Finally, for who sells them, it's mainly Vindatron, with Mick of Mick and Ralph having it in his special inventory after level 13. Now, in conclusion, the hunting shotgun is a great shotgun, not having too many downsides and a great upside of having great range. It is expensive, but on the flip side, it's a good way to make money if you can find a source of them in, say, the Legion Assassins. The extra rounds the 12-gauge shotgun has give it more utility, and the long tube having the second highest capacity of any shotgun is great. Now, if you're wondering if my voice sounds different, I am using a new recording setup. Hopefully you like it, and if you don't, you can leave me a comment. But thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.